Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be listening to some more Rainbow. We're going to be revisiting a song that we heard about a year ago titled Man on the Silver Mountain. We'll start with the studio version and then jump into the live 1977 Munich performance, which is actually the version of this song that I was initially introduced to all the long while ago. But as we know with Rainbow, you can even extend the argument to Deep Purple. The studio versions, the live performances, they are just two entirely different experiences. So getting to string them together back to back in this manner, I think it's the best way to do it. So I'm super excited to be checking these out today. But before we do, a massive thank you goes to Graham for making this reaction request and for bringing some Rainbow back to the channel. Now, my friends, let's jump into it. I get friends of mine that ask me, like, Sohum, how can you listen to rock and metal in the morning? Very easily. Especially when it sounds like this. DIO is like the pinnacle of rock voices. It is so fun to listen to him belt, to hold those notes, to let the vibrato ride as he crescendos, decrescendos, whatever he wants to do. He is like the perfect vocalist for what you hear happening underneath the hood, because like the riff, once we've established it, it's fairly simple for any intermediate guitarist to like kind of ear train a little bit, pick up, and then play. What stands out in this moment, especially just like across a lot of the studios before Richie ever solos, is James's vocals. The dude is just built different. With eyes that see inside you. is his vocal range? Like, I swear all of the highest notes you'd ever want to hear from a classic rock vocalist, James hits so easily. And he's constantly like in that higher range too. Like, despite his voice being like perfect for the baritone range, he always finds himself in that tenor, just tenor range with so much power too. That's the thing. It's like he not only has the ability to like hit those notes, he can hit them powerfully. He can hit them effortlessly. And I'm sure like when we watch the live performance, you'll see a bit of like the way that he physically carries himself on stage. But to be able to do all of this, you have to really be grounded. You have to use so much diaphragmatic support. You have to have great breath control, great vowel placement. I mean, I think I've said this before too, as it relates to Dio, but he is fit for opera singing sometimes when you hear him belt out and those notes just echo for eternity. Yeah, shout out to Dio, man. He really just is that perfect, like, I guess, I wouldn't call him sidekick. It's like a 1A, 1B with Dio and Richie within the context of Rainbow. Phenomenal song. It has so much character. And it just fits so neatly into the Rainbow discography. That's one thing I can appreciate too about artists when they've like struck gold and found their sound. You really don't have to do all that much more. You can just keep kind of mining from that same source because it's untapped by most of the other musical world out there. And because you guys have nailed it so much, we just want more of the same. And on top of that, then they add all of the other bells and whistles that make their sound even more unique. And that shows up very, very quickly in these live performances. But that just goes to show you, when you hear a studio performance like that with Man on the Silver Mountain, they are so good at staying tight, locked in, creating a really catchy groove, one that I think a lot of mainstream audiences can easily understand and, you know, let's say siphon energy from. And if you love their stuff, when you get presented with a live, it is just like your world has been set alight. Everything you thought you knew about how good Rainbow were, you can just turn that up by 10x. The lives are just something else. So I'm curious to now hear both of these versions back to back. Like I said before, we've actually heard this live performance before. So if you are very interested, you can go back to the very first time I ever reacted to Man on the Silver Mountain and maybe and compare how this version hits me today versus how it did many moons ago. But let's jump into it.
Man on the Silver Mountain, this one.
So let's watch how Dio positions himself on the stage, how he carries his chest, whether he runs around, stays grounded, and of course, we await the Richie solos. It just doesn't feel like the same song. It is the same rainbow, though. It's like a baby dive bomb. There's the riff. I love the way they intro all these songs, giving us something fresh up front, switching around the packaging, but then the content is still familiar. Small note here, but I mentioned about DIO's posture. You can see the way that he pretty much keeps his head very stable, despite like his shoulders slightly rising. I think he's doing that more for just like the physical embodiment of the lyrics, a bit of physical emphasis to show that he's into it, but his head is very stable. And if you were to like look at a side profile of DIO here, he would have very aligned posture from his esophagus up to his, the top of his head all the way down to his toes. And there is something about that particular alignment where you're just stacked on top of yourself, all the way from, again, the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, the full skeleton that allows the, I guess, more free-flowing passage of air. And just as an example, like I've always found it a lot easier to sing throughout the entire length of my vocal range whenever I have better posture. If I'm like kind of like nerd necking it and like my head is jutted forward, that in the long run, it's not only bad for my, skeletal posture, it reduces my ability to sing all of my range. So DIO, he is so stable. That takes a lot of training, a lot of practice to not just like flail about. And despite the energy being high up and you want to like dance around and go crazy, he is measured. Headfields, right? On the organ. Arms outstretched too. Big part of vocal posture. Widening your torso. Come on, Richie. Dude, when that stuff happens from Richie, I just get chills immediately. And by stuff, I mean blistering solo. Oh. Dude. Oh my god, this makes me emotional when I hear this. It's foolish how good he is. Oh my god, I remember when he started to do this. I remember. The double overhand, like cat scratching your guitar. It's a real technique, I swear. And what a deviation, right? Like, this full style change in the middle of the song. After something like so flashy like that. Like, you give Richie any style, he'll rock it. The blues rock is one of my favorites that he does. Dude, I don't know why this is making me so emotional. What is this keyboard player's name? Oh. Now back to Richie. I'm gonna look at that name. Tony Carey? What a joy to watch him play. Oh yeah, just chromatic it up. It's like you can only hear his strings now. The amp way turned down.
Climb to the sky.
It's like the sun is starting to re-emerge from behind the mountains here with DIO.
If there's a mountain, we'll all know why. Yeah, 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 yeah. If I'm high on the hill, she will still be looking down at me.
Full chorus back into the riff. Oh my god, back into the seduction. Can I say Cozy has been popping off in this, by the way?
It's easy, 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 it's oh so easy to love, and we love, yes we love.
God, it's so gorgeous.
We can't get enough.
It's one of my favorite chord progressions. It's just simple stair stepping down and then looping it back.
We can't get enough.
There's so much surface area to launch from in vocals and guitar and anything really.
Easy, 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 easy to cry through the night and find that it's right.
Oh my god. It's beautiful.
Night people, night people, night people,
Wherever James goes, we follow.
roaming the earth. We're all night people, yeah. We're all night people. Like a circle in the wind, like life when it begins. Night people, nowhere to go.
This is the calm before the storm.
I'm the man.
He can make grown men
I'm the
cry.
man.
Lord.
And you're the man. You're the man.
Oh, here we go.
You're the man.
Oh.
Are you the man? The man. The man. The man. Yes, you're the man.
What a perfect lead up and transition. love that song. I love the way that Dio just fully takes this one over. Because, like, the way we view, like, the studio to the live performances, the differences between those two, it tends to be that you have, like, some solid structure, and within the first song, that's exactly what we had, something identifiable. All of the segments of the song, you kind of knew where they were well positioned. And then when you go to the live, you explode everything. It's the musical equivalent of, if you've ever seen those images of, I don't know, it'll be like a diagram of, let's say, some car engine, and the diagram is an exploded one where all of the individual parts are kind of pulled out of the engine, but you can see all of the sort of lines of where they would need to go to fit all back together. So the original engine would be all compact like this, and the exploded image shows all of the different parts being represented by my 10 fingers here. So when you expand it, like we do in the car image, for example, now you get to see all of the finer details, and each of those little bits, there's more, how can I say this? There's more for us to like chew on, and more for the individual performer, Dio in this case, to work with, to deep dive further on. It's like when you're talking to an expert in a field, it is hard to just be like, hey, let's talk about human psychology, because that is just such a wide, that is so many like subtopics within that. You would need years of time to parse through all of it. You choose a niche topic, and even within a niche, you can choose a niche and analyze the details of the phenomenon underlying whatever you're hearing. With Rainbow, whenever Richie takes the solo, whenever Cozy takes the solo, whenever it's just James, we get to hear them stand out a lot more, that exploded piece from the original. And, you know, I like to say that the studio is different than the live, but it also isn't so different. It is just expanded in a different way, because we have a lot of the same melody, the same structure, a lot of the same riffage underneath. What we end up, the differences that we end up noticing are the isolation of certain elements. Now, obviously, too, there's more soloing and improvisation going on, so that each performance of a song like this is going to feel substantially different to A, the performers, and B, the audience. But there is always like that kind of core of where the melody originally came from, where the riffs originally came from. So I don't know, that feels all very obvious on the surface, but in terms of implementation, that's where Dio shines. That's where Richie shines, because they can craft a new song from the old song, still using the old track, of course, but almost like adding another layer on top of it. It's like a version of musical clothing, because underneath, if you have no clothes on, well, you are the same person, and with different styling, with different clothing, you're going to take on a very different feel internally, because the way we represent ourselves to the external world with clothes does change a little bit of how we feel about ourselves. And also, on the outside looking in, the perception of that same song changes. So the way I feel about Man on the Silver Mountain in the studio, it is a really lovely song, but without as much emotion. And the live version with Dio, where he's singing, where he's getting to really let the ballad part of it shine, to me, it carries so much more emotional weight. So in this case, I way prefer the live to the studio. And to be honest, like, I feel like if I were to always be asked that question about a Rainbow studio versus a live, 80% of the time I'm likely to say that I prefer the live. But if there are other songs from Rainbow that you feel I might say the opposite on, where I prefer the studio to the live, you can definitely send a reaction request my way, using the first link in the description box below, or just send me more Rainbow, Deep Purple, anything else that's on your mind that you'd like me to check out. You are more than welcome to do so. But that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.